Canberra Raiders pay tribute to former teammate late Kato Ottio. Prime Minister pleased with APEC Haus. And ABG budget focused on economic development.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Thursday's news. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill is pleased with the overall progress of work on the new APEC Haus in Port Moresby. The Prime Minister visited the site today and was briefed by the contractor. The visit comes 6 months after the initial start of construction. With 10 more months before PNG hosts the APEC Summit, our national leaders are put under pressure to make sure PNG successfully hosts the leaders' meeting.
This is our first meeting that we are hosting as a member country. We have been a member for APEC for over 20 years. We have never hosted an APEC meeting.
This morning, the Prime Minister, the APEC Minister, and the APEC CEO were given a tour around the APEC Haus in Port Moresby. It is a two-story building and much of the foundation work has already been laid.
The APEC Haus, that is certainly going to host one of the most important meetings ever held in this country. The APEC leaders meeting in November 2018. This is an historic event for Papua New Guinea and of course a very important meeting for the region, Asia Pacific region. The issues that are going to be discussed in this particular building will have impact on a global stage. The 21 nations that are going to be here on that occasion will represent over 50% of global trade.
The APEC Haus, once completed, will be an iconic tourism attraction in Papua New Guinea. It is being built at a cost of 120 million kina and is predicted to be completed in August. The House will host the main APEC summit, including discussions with the APEC Business Advisory Council.
The progress is in line with the timetables that we have set. It is on schedule, and we look forward to welcoming the leaders who are going to come here into PNG. I want to also announce that we have already secured the services of the P&O cruises. 3 large cruise ships will be parked here in Port Moresby at our harbour, and of course one at Motukea, which will cater for 4,000 rooms that will adequately accommodate all the delegates who are going to come into.
After it serves its purpose as the APEC Haus, it will be handed over to the Tourism Promotion Authority and will be turned into a museum. Taklagunga, National EMTV News. The Chinese government is renovating the APEC Convention Center at a cost of 20 million kina. This comes after it was left incomplete by a Chinese construction company. The Chinese ambassador to PNG, Xu Bing, and APEC Minister Justin Tichenko visited the new center and reminded the contractor of the urgency of the project. Construction of the APEC Convention Center commenced in 2016, but construction was halted in 2017. There were a number of meetings already held at the center since 2017, but the center was closed after the first contractor did not complete the job. For at least 8 months, there were no construction work at the center until the new Chinese ambassador to PNG came on board and assisted the PNG government to renovate and complete the building.
It's funding that the government didn't have, and for the Chinese government to come on board, that allowed us to make sure this facility was part of the APEC meetings, which are nearly 200 APEC meetings over the next 10 months.
The refurbishment will include 9 conference rooms, proper water and electricity connections, and road work at the entrance into the center.
The renovations and upgrade is 20 million kina, donated by the Chinese government.
Construction are predicted to be completed come April. That is almost 12 weeks from now.
I want to say a very big thank you to the Ambassador of China and the Chinese government for coming on board with us and spending this funding to upgrade the current facility to world standard and to make it APEC ready.
Taklagunga, National EMTV News.
Senior Moravian statesman Sir Jerry Nallau today paid a powerful tribute to his former colleague and close friend Alan Macleay, who passed away last week. Macleay was recruited as a 19-year-old patrol officer and sent to Papua New Guinea a decade before independence. Sir Jerry recounted a colourful journey over 40 years. Their lives intertwined with Sir Jerry as the colonial officer in charge in various capacities and Alan Macleay as his deputy.
This morning, members of the lay community came to pay tribute to a great and humble man. For the last 30 years, he was the face of the lay business community. Many knew him as the president of the Lay Chamber of Commerce. But his life was much more colourful. In 1964, Alan Macleay came to Papua New Guinea as a 19-year-old cadet patrol officer. He served in Simbu, East New Britain, Madang and Bougainville.
Alan was born in Melbourne, Victoria in 1945 and from early on was a keen sportsman, playing representative water polo and rugby union.
His life as a patrol officer was intertwined with one of Papua New Guinea's first patrol officers, Sir Jerry Nallau. Prior to independence, a land dispute in East New Britain that could have turned bloody amidst anti-colonial sentiments was settled by a team of colonial officers led by a young Jerry Nallau and Alan Macleay.
There will be bloodshed. And because of these young people, their way they work around us day and night, and then we went to them.
Little known stories of his bravery in the highlands where he ended tribal fights without bloodshed were recounted. His humour told in short anecdotes by his two children. During independence, with Jerry Nallau in charge of Simbu, Alan Macleay was assigned as the interpreter for Prince Charles, who came to officiate. Wife Nellie told those present her husband was not only a partner but a friend and a mentor. And even in the final days of his life, friends said he continued to worry about the state of the country he helped build. Scott White, National EMTV News, Lay.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has described the late Alan Macleay as an icon in the country's business sector. The Prime Minister was saddened with his sudden passing earlier this month and says his death leaves a great vacuum and a loss for the country. He says Macleay's passion and commitment for business growth will remain a legacy. You're watching National EMTV News. Among stories after the break, ABG presents 2018 budget to National Treasury, while Morabeh passes its budget for this year and Pangia Station goes online with Telecom's 4G service. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. The autonomous Bougainville government has presented its 2018 budget to the National Treasury. Finance Minister Robin Wilson presented their money plan to Treasurer Charles Abel. The ABG budget is set at 254 million kina.
Economic development is the focus of the autonomous Bougainville government in 2018. This, according to ABG Minister for Treasury and Finance, Robin Wilson. Minister Wilson today presented the ABG's budget to National Treasurer Charles Abel today. The ABG's budget is set at 254.8 million kina. This comprises of recurrent grants from the national government that total 120 million kina, restoration and development grants that are projected at 113 million kina, and the region projecting internal revenue to be within the 20 million kina range.
It has been formulated around major policy areas as approved by the Bougainville Executive Council. You will see that the theme of the ABG budget is equitable distribution of resources through good governance and infrastructure and economic development. We've broken the budget into 3 sectors only. Rather than having a long shopping list, as has been done in the past, I've decided to restrict the budget. And I've given more emphasis to the economic sector and the governance sector. The social sector remains as the highest recipient of the budget because we still have to maintain the health and the education programs. Agriculture side, we are looking into increase the production of cocoa and copra. We are also extending into fisheries and marine products, and we are also trying to, have a system of exporting direct from Bougainville instead of exporting from elsewhere. Basically, getting the economic sector departments to sit down, identify their priorities with the aim of bringing revenue back to Bougainville.
According to Minister Wilson, the ABG has commenced to work to make its budgetary process more efficient and transparent, particularly in regards to reporting to the national government on the use of grants, which make up a significant portion of the autonomous region's money plan.
I made it my business to provide on a quarterly basis reports back to the national government on how the national government's grants to the ABG are being expanded. So that is not something that the 2 governments will now argue over, because that will be made on a quarterly basis, and I've maintained that throughout last year.
In receiving the ABG's budget, Treasurer Charles Abel acknowledged the moves taken by the ABG to focus more on developing its economic sector, particularly at a time when the national government is also looking to stimulate growth through the non-renewable sectors.
And making sure that we have a robust and growing economy that delivers benefits to our people through jobs and income and business opportunities, but it also drives revenue for government as well. And particularly under difficult circumstances we're going through temporarily now, I've been saying to all the provinces and all the governors, we had a governors meeting, I said I'd like each and every province to drive at least one economic project. And you may have a range, obviously, of economic projects. We talked about some of the ones in Bougainville, but we all need to be aware that if we are going to benefit in terms of budgets and help from government and national government, we need to do our part by driving economic growth at our level.
The Treasurer also reaffirmed the national government's commitment to the autonomous region of Bougainville, especially through the special grants.
We all know some of the history, especially under the special intervention funding that national government has committed, and we remain committed to that. There remain some outstanding amounts there, which we have provided some money in the 2018 budget towards, and that special intervention funding was supposed to happen over a 5-year period. That 5-year period has elapsed, but we will continue to provide funding to satisfy the 500 million that was committed to. And that, of course, is going against some specific, particularly infrastructure projects in the ABG. The restoration grants that were provided there. There continues to be some a little bit more clarity required there, but we're still budgeting money against those grants while there's still some discussion about exactly how those obligations are quantified. Government remains committed to the partnership and to our joint aspirations to make goods and services available to the people of Bougainville. They remain very, very important part, an integral part of the development framework of the nation of Papua New Guinea.
Following the presentation of the ABG budget to Treasury today, the process of certifying the budget may take a week. Merabatulo, National EMTV News.
Morobe Governor Ginsen Saunu has presented the provincial budget of over 402 million kina to members of the Tutumang. Mr. Saunu says the budget will provide the foundation for creating distribution of development and equitable growth in all sectors of the economy.
Morobe Provincial Government 2018 budget will be focused mainly on education and health. Morobe Governor Ginsen Saunu says service delivery budget of over 53 million kina caters for all core government programs. Some of these programs and projects to be delivered under this budget include health, education, and transport and infrastructure.
It is important that in the long term, the economic corridors are opened up with access to reliable infrastructures complemented with investment in economic projects.
While presenting the 2018 budget to the members of Tutumang, Governor Saonu said more than 24,000 kina of service delivery allocation will be transferred direct to the districts to deliver government services. The provincial government and the 9 district development authorities will have to sign a service delivery partnership agreement in order to deliver these services at the district level. The 33 local level governments in Morobe will also receive a service delivery budget allocation of more than 13,000 kina.
The 2018 budget or appropriation will be delivered with the theme, initial stepping stone to restore Morobe or Kisimbet Morobe through partnership.
After the budget was presented, members of the Tutumang were pleased with the overall figure of the 2018 budget. Member for Makam Koni Iguan said, service delivery is important and must be delivered once the budget is approved. Meanwhile, member for Nawai Kennedy Wenge said there should be equal distribution of funds to schools that is serving the citizens of Morobe.
Nawai Lutheran High School is for Papua New Guinea taxpayers and Lutheran Church on. Na IP still on budget. No got man by Lusting Ting Long Jisla High School. Was all gonna pick in the public 7. You go school on Nawai High School. Or not plan to come school task or big plan Lusting Ting come up long. One plan book inside long page Nawai Lutheran High School no got.
Julie Badwi Owa, National EMTV News, Ley.
Morobe Province has launched its education reform program. This is part of the 30-year plan to improve quality education at all levels, from early childhood, special education, elementary, primary and secondary schools.
This was the first meeting on Morobe education reform at the Fields Hotel in Ley yesterday. In attendance were senior education officers and public servants, including Morobe Governor Ginsen Saonu. Over 20 years, Morobe Province has performed poorly in terms of general education performance. It is rated 5th compared to other provinces in the country. It has also become clear that university students still find it difficult to write and speak better English.
Morobe education reform is the provincial government's initiative to improve the declining standards of education in Morobe Province.
The outcome-based curriculum was ruled out by O'Neill Dion government because it was regarded as a failed system. Standards-based curriculum that replaced the OBC has high expectation for change and improvements to children's academic performances. The recently introduced education reform in the province will ensure that children as young as 2 years old are able to read, write and speak better English before they continue to elementary, primary and secondary schools.
Campaign speeches in 2017 national elections, I said, Miba Kisimbek Morobe. I announced education reform policy as a strategy to bring back Morobe's education system to where it's supposed to be.
Governor Saonu said the concept will be introduced to the 9 districts of Morobe and the 33 local level governments. The governor said English will be treated as a subject on its own and is to start from early childhood education until it reaches secondary, Ford and Tibet. Julie Badwi Owa, National EMTV News, Ley.
2018 has begun with the launching of Telecom's fastest 4G network at Pangia Station in Southern Highlands Province. It's a New Year's gift from the Prime Minister to over 20,000 people of the Yalubu Pangia electorate. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill and Telecom Chief Executive Officer Xavier Victor have launched the 4G LTE network at Pangia Station.
It was a joyous moment for the people of Pangia as they welcomed the new year with the launching of Telecom's 4G network. Not only that, but welcoming the mandated leader, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, who was away from home since the formation of government last year in August. The event started with the animation of how communication has evolved over time. For them, it was from shouting from mountain tops, through the blowing of bamboo flutes for courtship, and now to accessing instant information using technology. Telecom CEO Xavier Victor encouraged schools to use the network to boost their teaching and learning capacity.
All schools are using system using materials online come educating more students, learning supporting and promoting education beginning.
The Prime Minister and the dignitaries officially launched Telecom's 4G LTE network. Mr. O'Neill told his people that communication is an important tool, opening many pathways for health, education and other services. The former government under this leadership have invested millions of kina into Telecom to improve and expand telecommunication infrastructure. The Prime Minister also challenged Telecom PNG to roll out the 4G network in all the 89 districts.
Thank you through Telecom, we must expand in the longer job country. Digital too, you know, got 4G. And first company lo country lo yumi, company lo people lo yumi. I mean, launching rolling this program.
Higher Education Minister Pila Niningi was also present at the launching. He told the Pangia people his department has used the internet for the grade 12 selection. He also highlighted that 13,000 of the 28,000 grade 12 students were selected into tertiary institutions last year.
Computer starts all by marking you. Suppose you give him good black grade, you buy go. Bring a study, plan your information is up well. And can come up with this service come inside. So you mean you can lose in place na go lo hagen or one per city, lo having this kind service come inside.
PNG is the first Pacific Island country to roll out the 4G network. Telecom National Retail Manager Amos Tepi said for a remote place like Pangia to receive 4G network is a milestone to use ICT at the village level.
Ahead of the other Pacific countries as well, and also if you look at the other countries, they're now into 4G and 5G. So we are in level with all the countries, and easy for the people of Yellow Pangia, they can communicate back to Sydney.
Vasinata Yama, National MTV News, Mount Hagen.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3095 in the interbank markets. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.302 $0.3809 Australian dollars, €0.2486 euro and 33.27 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee and cocoa closed higher while gold and copra closed the day lower. Crude oil is trading higher while palm oil and copper closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 16.67 points lower, the ASX closed at 29.06 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 29.62 points lower. You're at National MTV News. We have more stories for you on the other side of these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back. A young woman who was missing for more than a week is now at home with her family. Roslyn Tabu, the young mother of two, was found on Monday at Talai settlement in Port Moresby with the assistance of police and Port Moresby residents who sighted her. Family members confirmed with MTV News she was found unharmed and has returned to her family at Tubusera village. An industrial fire in Port Moresby's Hohola suburb has completely destroyed small business Shona Holdings, a store owned and operated by Indians. Most of the goods and other items were destroyed in the fire, with no casualties reported.
The fire started at around 11 p.m. last night, just after the heavy downpour in Port Moresby.
fire start lo inside. Fire start lo inside na one plan man walk lo sing out inside lo store stop na. Or em need him help. Em to help stop na. Mi guanta plaus. Aus lo mi antap sole. Mixim ayen nambot na mi gimol sample security lapia. Na mi plus tretim kam miet na putim lo do nambot na mi plus try lo liverim la doya na. Mi plus burkisment lapia matso. Mi plus burkisment lap na mi plus rosim mania come out na.
Fire service and police were alerted and both responded. This was the scene this morning, with most of the goods and store items destroyed in the fire.
Normal sample wholesale one em kaigen about na all sample freezer and all clothes about na all slakain no salim inside them.
Eyewitnesses described the flames as high as 2 meters and could be seen from the other side of Hohola.
So all naraplo side to em all poretun all lucy mouse all go out about lo side. Mi pla talk sawer lol tu. Was em flame em strong straight yeah.
Since 11 p.m. last night, Hohola police are guarding the scene and have prevented opportunists from looting nearby shops. The cause of the fire remains unknown. Seklagunga, National EMTV News.
A 3-day intensive training workshop on tourism and sustainable development goals ended today in Port Moresby. 12 participants from local tourism business and the Tourism Promotion Authority, who are members of the PNG Tourism Industry Association, were presented with certificates. The training was facilitated by Stephen Noakis of Pacific Asia Tourism. Many traditional carvings at Adventure Park have been damaged by the weather, and to replace them, 4 young men from East Sepik Province are now carving new artifacts out from wood. It's a special skill which also helps them make a living.
Timothy Gumari and his 3 friends have just carved new artifacts, which took them almost 3 months.
Na mi plus okimol carving, mi plus vanishimol carvings, patching cracks, repair maintenance logora carvings, na samlota mi plus replaceable carving too. Na now that I'm just in kisimi bla kam, na mi bla work stable park.
The 2 bigger carvings are made from quilla wood, which took them almost 6 weeks.
Okay, this la talent mi bla gat. Mi bla na sa lookim, mi bla na sa drawing na bien sa okim no gat. Mi den talent mi bla sa wokim tosol, tingim tosol mi bla come up with something. Ta mi bla lili manget mi bla sa training lili glo place ta mi bla stop lang. Training all traditional art skills inherited from thousands all tradition long Sepik villages na pian mi bla karem go out long all narlo provinces na mi bla sa wokim.
The smaller carvings took a month.
I'm depend long skills to all man. So all man only well experienced. I'm also carving most 2 or 3 weeks. Na some lo carving I'm taking months lo wokim. This lo gora mi bla taking 3 months gora now. Long boost na ikam inap long yeah.
Timothy's group, Boindumba Creative Services, aspire to preserve and create new traditional artifacts.
I'm sa golo process mi bla sa katim diwai na shape mem na kama we shape blo something o imila okeman mi sa kama we shape blo man o pupuk mi bla sa shape pupuk na mi bla sa sisilim na mi bla sa clean up lang yan. Clean up na biyan sa putim sandpaper, sendim na wanisim. Yes, mi bla bilibo sa mi bla sa wala okim disla suppose all like him restoration long National Parliament lo wakim all new black carvings and now all ask him all can choose him Boindumba Creative Service so mi bla can carve him na create him. Disla tu mi bla sa yani mol incomes lu mi bla na mi bla sabay bi jelo city.
Lillian Kinea, National EMTV News.
You're with Thursday's news. Chukai Sports is up next. We'll have more news on the late Kato Ottio for you. Tune in for that.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The mother of late Kato Ottio, Joyce, says she wants her son to be buried closer to where they live, and that's at their home village at Tatana. The funeral service scheduled for tomorrow did not go down well with the family. His mother says because they need more time to be with her late son before he would be laid to rest. They will renegotiate with PNG RFL for a new date for the funeral program. Meanwhile, a bank account for the late Kumal Star's funeral contribution has been organized and will be announced for the public to make donations. The late Ottio's mother also thanked those who have contributed to her personal account from information circulated on social media Facebook. Late Kato Ottio and Wellington Albert were scheduled to fly to the United Kingdom today to join the Witness Vikings. Albert told EMTV today he will not travel as scheduled because he not only lost a teammate but a friend and a brother as well. He will travel after the funeral service of late Ottio.
Just last Christmas, late Kato Ottio was at his home village in Tatana celebrating with his family. On Boxing Day, an EMTV News crew caught up with him at Tatana, where he was busy overseeing a volleyball competition. He said then that he was looking forward to his trip to the UK.
The Witness Vikings, I've signed with them, so I think me and Wellington are going over, so we're following up with the visa and all those requirements. So I think everything's going smoothly, and hopefully we leave maybe early January or second week of January.
Unfortunately, this would be a trip he won't be making. Teammate and friend Wellington Albert, who was also recruited by the Vikings, was scheduled to leave PNG today. However, Albert has rescheduled his plans to travel after the burial of his friend.
Me and Kato were scheduled to fly today, but unfortunately, we can't travel because he just left me behind and he passed away. So that's why I have to attend his funeral service tomorrow. That's why I told Witness Vikings people to reschedule my flight to Tuesday. So next week Tuesday I'll fly out. That's why I'll travel on Tuesday.
Like many Papua New Guineans, Albert says he is still coming to terms with the loss of his friend.
I can't accept the fact that he just left me alone and gone like that, because everything we'll do there is like for both of us. They booked an apartment for both of us, our shoe sizes, both of us, everything played together.
Late Ottio, who passed away in the early hours of Tuesday morning, left many fans shocked. Social media platform Facebook was flooded with condolence messages and the shocking news of the 23-year-old's passing. Vice Sports Minister Wesley Raminai, while conveying his condolences to the late Kumal Star's family, thanked him and his family to have given their son to represent PNG in various sporting codes. He added that Ottio's contribution to PNG sports, volleyball, rugby nines and rugby league will always be appreciated and is reflected through the many youths who look up to him. Stacey Yellow, National, EMTV Sports.
Canberra Raiders players, officials and fans today gathered to pay tribute to former teammate Kato Ottio, who died earlier this week. The Canberra Raiders recruitment manager described Papua New Guinea's rising rugby league star as talented and respectful, and who was always proud of his heritage.
A small but yet significant ceremony led by Canberra Raiders players, club officials and supporters who united to celebrate the life of their former teammate. A Requiem Holy Mass was held this morning at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Canberra, Australia, celebrating the life of Kato Ottio. Close to 120 people, including Papua New Guineans in Australia, came together to celebrate the life of this rising rugby league star. The late Kato was described as a talented athlete in all areas.
I'll never forget the day that Ricky told him that he was being offered a full-time contract. The smile he had on his face could have lit up GIO Stadium. As a shy and very humble young man, he was a talented athlete in all areas. He was respectful. He was cheeky, he was committed, he was so proud of his family, his heritage, his country.
His former teammates also shared their stories as tributes and last respect to their former teammate.
Still entrusted me. There are many rooms in the Father's house. I'm going now to prepare a place for you. And after I've gone and prepared a place.
But the sudden death of Kato would remind us of the fragile gift of life and the need to cherish each day.
But on social media Facebook, it was flooded with words of thank you to Canberra Raiders. Today's act was deeply touching for Papua New Guineans, and they thanked Raiders for showing the essence of sportsmanship, comradeship, friendship and respect. But one and all, the late Kato Ottio has gained the respect of his peers and fellow rugby players both in Papua New Guinea and overseas.
The road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.
Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV Sports.
National Events Minister Justin Tkachenko says Ottio was a champ and his legacy will live on. And the post-mortem was the only way to determine the cause of his death.
It's too premature to blame the hospital or to blame any individuals or to blame anybody until we find out the absolute facts. And we're crystal clear in knowing how this young man lost his life at such an early age when he was so fit and so healthy and was just about to kick off his rugby league career overseas in England. You know, this is just devastating for the rugby league community, and being a part of it for 5 years as the minister, to see a young man coming up the ranks lose his life like that is just something that is shocking. And that's why we have to find out the true cause of his passing so everybody knows what happened. And then we, hopefully, if we can, prevent it ever happening again to any of our other star players.
A family of the Pacific Island community in PNG will compose a song dedicated to the late Kato Ottio for being an inspiration to youth and children, and who even became a household name. They have composed a song in the Tongan language titled "If Love Is at Home, Everything Is Fine," to remember the true Kumal star. This was one of the 200 text messages in just 48 hours via local radio station Lalokau FM, which offered its airwaves whole day to air condolences. Principal owner and statesman Sir Dadi Toka said late Ottio was the Papuan hero of rugby league. You're watching Trukai Sports. After the break, the City Dwellers to play in the OFC Champions League opener, rugby league and cricket. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To football, City Dwellers are to play in the OFC Champions League opener against the winner of this month's OFC Champions League qualifier in Vanuatu. The Dwellers are pooled in Group A alongside Nalkutan from Vanuatu and Bar FC from Fiji.
Group A in Vanuatu will start off with the winner of this month's OFC Champions League qualifier against PNG National Soccer League club champions City Dwellers. while host club and competition newcomers Nalkutan FC takes on Fiji veterans Ba FC on February 10th at Common Stadium in Port Vila.
No takers in black.
Group B gets underway on 10th February at the State Peter Stadium in Tahiti as it prepares to host a group fixture for the second season in a row. The match will see Vanuatu side Erako Golden Star taking on Solomon Warriors before the francophone matchup between AS Dragon and AS Lossie kicks off at 9 p.m. local time.
Here's a chance.
Group C and D takes place from 25th February to the 4th of March, with both 2017 finalists Auckland City FC and Team Wellington jumping into action in Auckland and Honiara respectively. NSL runner-up Medang FC is grouped in Pool C with Auckland City, Lautoka and Venus from Tahiti. The OFC Champions League is the region's premier international club competition, with the winner taking the title of Oceania Champions, along with tickets to the annual FIFA Club World Cup. The competition gets underway in American Samoa later this month, with the 4 club champions from the host nation, Samoa, Tonga and Cook Islands, vying for the 2 remaining places in the group stage.
Lossie having to deal with an issue, but it's ended up.
Shane Soroya, National EMTV Sports.
Hebo PNG Under-19 Garmuts have played their second warm-up match against host country New Zealand. Kiwis have a strong squad for the tournament and they showed their quality in the first warm-up match against Zimbabwe. Garmuts will take confidence showcasing certain players when they play other teams. Still on the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup, the PNG Under-19 Garmuts faced West Indies today in their first warm-up match but fell short of bagging a win. West Indies proved to be the better side, defeating the PNG Garmuts by 7 wickets.
Winning the toss and opting to bat first, the Garmuts were put under instant heavy fire from the West Indies bowlers. Despite being first-timers to this level of cricketing, the Garmuts went down fighting. An accumulative of only 55 runs was bagged before the top order was sent off the crease. The middle order fought to stay on top, but West Indies did not let the Garmuts get ahead. PNG was all out at 105 runs after 40 overs. The second innings saw swift reply from the Indies as it took them only 20 overs to beat the target of 105 set by PNG with 3 for 106. Despite the loss, this much-needed warm-up match prepares PNG for the first match of the tournament in Group B against Zimbabwe on Saturday. Dinrose Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
That wraps up Trukai Sports for tonight. Up next, we take a quick look at the weather across the regions. Stay tuned for that.
Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region: partly sunny in Port Moresby, cloudy with thunderstorms in Daru, cloudy in Kerema and thunderstorms in spots in Alutau and Popondetta. In the Momase region, mostly cloudy in Lae, mostly cloudy with showers in Medang and Wewak and a passing shower or two in Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, cloudy in Lorengau, heavy thundery showers in Kokopo and Rabaul, cloudy with brief showers in Kavieng, some clouds and sun in Buka and partly cloudy in Kimbe. And in the Highlands region, cloudy tonight in Mount Hagen, thunderstorms in spots in Goroka, stray thundery showers in Wabeg, rain and thunderstorms in Tari and a couple of thunderstorms in Mendi.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that's the news, sports and weather for today, Thursday, January 11, 2018. On behalf of the entire EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.